What's up?
My hamster died.
I thought you said the hamster keeps going.
I had to feed it.
Jesus Christ.
The
And you're like,
hamster my wheel.
and you're blaming
I'm
me.
gonna go on. I'm gonna go on Best Buy right now, and I'm gonna go and fucking buy a laptop right now.
You were supposed to take care of this last week.
Was I? Was that? I wasn't here
Yeah.
last week. I wasn't here.
You were
last
like,
week.
hey, I'll give me a laptop before we record again. You're like, as soon as I
I
get back, I'm
wasn't-
gonna buy me
I
a
know.
laptop. As soon as I get back, that's what you said.
Rotator cuff issue. Then I went to San Antonio. Then I came back. Then I went to the beach, and it's just been one thing after another.
You were back. You said you were getting back on a Tuesday. That's
Uh-huh.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday,
No,
and
but-
Sunday.
Yeah, but other things happen. Remember I texted you about the passing of my boy's dad.
No,
So
you
I
didn't
had
text me
that.
that.
I didn't text you that? Did I told you
No,
that death keeps following me?
Oh.
Yeah, so tomorrow is actually his funeral and stuff. They're doing that the 7th and the 8th. That's why I texted you early and I was like, hold on, I'm sending some flowers just to express my
Yeah.
condolences.
Shit,
But,
one of the guys I went to high school with, and he went into the army. He just passed away from COVID.
It's crazy, man. What's your feel on vaccination? Did you get
I'm
yours
not-
or?
Nah, I'm not getting mine, man.
Okay.
My thought on it too is like I weigh myself. I check my resting heart rate. I do my HRV. I'm taking vitamins. I'm taking probiotics. I'm taking elderberry. Like I'm taking a lot of things to make sure, and I'm tracking my sleep. So I do a
Okay.
lot of things to make sure that I'm healthy. You know, like I make sure my weight stays in a certain weight that I want to be in. Which is 10 pounds from like weight standards for my height. Like I have that, vitamins, probiotics. Anytime like this morning, I woke up with like a little sniffle. The wife just gets me a whole thing and we start just cool. We're going to go overdose on some herbs
Yeah.
and, start taking care of yourself. So that's why I don't think I'm going to get it. Like I'm not going to get it. So same thing for my family. Like, we were talking about it the other day. Like, so last year I moved in from Japan. That was like in the height of the pandemic. We moved from Japan we went to Cali. So we've been exposed left and right. Everywhere we've been exposed and we've been good. So,
Have you ever had
we got
it?
that good blood. Not that I know of. I mean, there was when it first came out, like when we're talking about like when they were, they said like it happened, but they're saying, oh, it probably happened a couple months earlier. I was actually traveling from the States, from San Antonio all the way to, I spent 3 days flying, I think. And I went to Taipei, and like they took me all over the place for some stupid reason. So I'm pretty sure I got it then. Like I'm pretty sure I was exposed because this was like when everything was normal.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure I got because I was on like China Airlines or whatever the fuck it was. So, so I'm pretty sure I was exposed to it. But
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I've got it. I got both the Pfizer series, but I just did it just to keep myself safe, keep that insurance that I'm safe. I mean, in the military, we always had to stay up to date on our immunizations and everything else. So for me, that was my outlook on it. It was just getting another shot, Plus, I've had people experience it. Like I told you, my boy's dad passed away because of COVID and stuff like that. But I mean, it's serious. It's real. It's out there.
Yeah.
And I get people's political beliefs. I get their rights. They feel like they're being sort of mandated to do it. I get it. But at the same token, if you have any friends that are in the medical field, they'll tell you that it's not about that. You know what I'm saying? It's about keeping others safe. And when I say others, I mean like your kids, your wife, your
Well,
parents and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, my only thing with that though is like, a lot of people, a lot of people have been getting very like, hey, this and that. And my only thing with a lot of these people that are saying it, they're like, hey, you got to protect others. And I hate to say it, but it's like, man, you're 30 pounds overweight. Like you don't eat healthy. You're eating fast food all the time. You don't
Right.
sleep. You're doing all these things. You're trying to condemn somebody for not making you safe. But I mean, honestly, if you're obese, you're the most at risk. Like I hate to say it that way, and it sounds like very heartless, and it's not. But that's my only issue with that stuff. When like I'm fortunate that I just keep to myself, right? So I don't really have to worry about this. Like I was at work and potentially somebody was exposed, so I was around that person too. So I mean, we stayed home that weekend. I was supposed to go to a birthday party, but we're like, hey, out of, you know, to make sure others, because like I said,
Right.
my wife and I, and we're fine. We are getting to the point, are we eating too much processed? Like that's what we're at with those things. So I'm not worried about us, but other people, I don't know their health. So I was like, you know what, out of abundance, I'd rather just chill out the whole weekend. We don't have to go nowhere. We're good. Right. And so like mine's not like a political thing of like, I'll do whatever I want. I'm just like, hey, I'm going to make sure I'm safe. But because I don't take the shot, I'm going to like, I have things in line, but I've been doing these for years. Either, so it's not like,
but that's the
just
thing.
Right now.
But like you said, you're going to still quarantine yourself because of others. And that's the outlook that I hope that people can see. It's not about government telling you to do it. It's not about someone forcing you to do it. It's just a out of respect thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, just be sincere for those around you. If you don't, you know, to get the vaccine. If you don't want to do it, I get it, man. I'm not going to force you to do it or whatnot. But a lot of the people who say it were in the military. And you know, if you were in, there was no saying no. You just had to go and get. I mean, I got anthrax. The whole 6 series. You don't think there's going to be long-lasting effects from that shit? You know, there's articles coming out now. I got all 6.
So, I got the first one, and they were like, we're in Iraq, and we got the first one before we went to Iraq, and they're like, hey, come back. I think I got the second shot, and they're like, come back. And we forgot about it, and no one ever told us. So I was like, I'm not saying shit. Like,
But
obviously,
but we did it because we knew we were going in locations that was there. Just like in Honduras, what they made us take. Malaria pills.
Fuck that! Stop taking those.
I know, but malaria was high risk down there, so they gave us the pills to take. And you're right. I was having some weird ass dreams. I felt like sometimes I was hallucinating. I don't know, but we did it just to keep ourselves safe and those around us safe. Because imagine showing up to the jog and we're all malaria.
Well, now they say it has risk of like brain cancer now. The malaria pills they gave us. Yeah. So, and that's also, I think, one of my other things too. Oh, actually, I wanted to ask you, have you seen that, right? VA's like, you're good, man. Cancer, that came from something else. Hey, what do you think about that Marine Lieutenant Colonel who got like, who went online and started like saying what he had to say about like the Afghanistan? What do you think about that?
I mean, I understood his gripe, like I understood his frustration and everything else. But for me, there's a time and place for everything. And, you know, that's one of the biggest things they harp on is don't get on social media to rant about things that you could just keep in house, especially at his position, his rank. He could have easily done that to maybe his soldiers, maybe like commander's call or something, you know, express your frustration. But they tell you there was another Marine that got separated because he went on Facebook and started ranting about the president at the time. That's a no-no. You know, in uniform, you don't talk bad about the commander in chief. But he did it anyway. And he got the Marines kicked him out. Same thing with this. If you're going to do it, they're consistent. It's not just, pick and choose who we're going to do it. But for him to do what he did, I get his point. It is frustrating what happened, the events that happened, everything else. But, and I can't really relate because I never got deployed out there. But, and even my boy who was deployed out there, like he's frustrated as well. But like I try to tell him, I was like, hey, these are 2 different moments. Like you should still be sort of happy at the service and the mission you did during that time in the past, because you guys did help. You know what I'm saying? You helped train them. You helped them sort of get their country back and everything else. So don't feel like that moment on time when you were out there doing what you were supposed to be doing. Don't look at it as a disgrace. Be happy about it because you did change people's lives. This year is a different moment. It's a different event. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's frustrating that the way he went about doing everything, and a lot of people are saying, was it worth it? But again, 2 different spectrum of the era, man. Like when we were doing it for valid reasons, and we knew what the mission was. The mission was to make the change. This here, the mission is like get them out, and the way they did it was a debacle. It's true, but you know, I just don't want those who were in there and done the fight and did the fight to feel like what a smack in the face, because I still applaud them, man. They did a great job doing what they were supposed to do during that time. But to me, it's 2 different spectrums. How about you?
Man, I think I might have a minority opinion about this one. If it's just kind of like he shouldn't have said it, man. I think, you know, when you look at it, it's like, you know, it's the difference between the sword and the pen. Right, the pen is the lawyer, like they're the ones who make the laws and all that stuff like that, and the sword or the military And I think there's a balance that goes on right now. And I look at it from perspective of like, yeah, you're cool, man. Like you decided like this was going to be your moment. You're going to fall on your sword, etc. But there's other people, there's junior Marines, like you fucked over guys who are in right now, who are not getting out. Like they're fucked because now they have to know that's over their head too. Like that's, I mean, I think it was just inappropriate. It's one of the ones where it's like, you know, people are like applauding him. It's like, no, man, like he went against order and discipline, like legit. Like, and it's kind of like, you know, and I get veterans, but it's like, once you're done, you earn that you're right back to like kind of say whatever the fuck you want. You want to say crazy stuff. You want to say flat earth and whatever stuff, you know, that's cool. That is your God-given right, you know, in a sense, and it's your freedom. I'm cool with it. But while you're in uniform, shut the fuck up, man. It's not the place. Yeah. And we all know it though. And that's why I don't understand it. And a lot of military guys that are in right now are like applauding him. And it's like, that's dangerous, man. We cannot be out like that. Like,
and what made it even more frustrating was the fact that those soldiers, you know, they got KIA. You know, trying to do his orders and everything else, and now we just lost, you know, some Americans, and they're young. Yeah. You look at the listing of the people who were KIA, they were young, man, young mother, young dad, young brother, young sister, and you know, the New York Post. I was reading an article from them. They showed how when they were doing the whole transfer of the caskets and everything, he's looking at his watch. Yeah. Like, come on, man, really? Everybody's eyes are on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you fart, the media is going to know about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're in the highest position there is in the United States. There's a certain way you're supposed to be acting. It's not you looking at your watch when these caskets are going by you with the American flags on it. That's a disgrace, man.
Well, you know, at the end of the day, man, honestly, like, I don't disagree with you by no means. I am no political affiliation and being like, I must support this decision or I must try to, I don't give a flying fuck about any of these politicians. Right. You know what I mean? Like, but what I do think is like, at the end of the day, man, and I think a lot of people have a hard time believing this, but we don't honestly, like, whoever the president is, it don't matter. They don't give a fuck. Like, you're never going to really see them. You're not going to, like, they don't give a flying, like, and it's just like in the military, man. The generals and all that, they don't give a flying fuck about you, man. You're a number. Right. And, you know, I think it's hard for people to understand it unless you're in the military and you're like, yeah, you are a fucking number. You literally are your laundry mark. Like, at the end of the day, like, that's kind of what you are. But at the same time frame, like, you know, those ones that we lost, like, you know, when next month, when it's a different topic, when it's something completely different, years from now, 10 years, they will still be remembered by their actual friends. Correct. And I think that's what matters the most, right? Because like, I mean, that's what sucks is because a lot of the military that we have, like when they lose their life, they become a topic and they become this. Right. But it's like my friend was more than this and this and that. So it's like, I think it's up to us to really remember them and honor them because they're going to be honored now. And it's like, you know, the warriors and you know, we'll take care of them from that aspect. So that's when he's doing that stuff, it's like, not only is it a disgrace, but it's kind of like the burden of respect and the burden of the memories falls on us, not on them. Right. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way. Like I said, the only one I'm really surprised at, I think, is Bush, that, you know, he had a painting of every, you know, person that lost their life, you know, under his command, which I think just signifies like how much that must have like messed them up, you know, because to think of it, like, you know, that's in your nightmares or that's in your dreams of just going down a room and you see all the people that is your responsibility, like whether right or wrong or who cares or whatever. I mean, that's not the job of like, you know, the military, but it is, like I said, it's sad. You know what I mean? It's sad when, you know, people pass away because that ceremony is fucking sad, man. I don't care who you like, well, unless you don't understand it. Because like I said, my friend just passed away, and so he had his military honors, and it's like, fuck, man. Like, one day we will all be draped, you know, that flag will be draped over us, and that's like, fuck, that's your future. Yeah. So in a sense, it's really rough, man. It's but it's like the way shit's going, like, you know what I mean? I think people forget a lot of military veterans because we've been celebrated for so long. But hey, man, it wasn't that long ago before they were calling us fucking baby killers when, you know, from Vietnam and shit like that. So the public can turn on you in a heartbeat.
Easily.
It's like, and I don't like to, you know, I mean, I know that must suck for a lot of people, but there was a time and place where if you were like military, they called you a baby killer and shit. Yeah. And it was before my time and before your time, but I don't ever like to forget that shit because it's like, you know, I think we've gotten celebrated too much, you know, a lot of times, you know, there's a lot of people that do a lot of great things but the public could turn on us, you know, at any moment. So,
I mean, the prime example was the raid on the Capitol, man. You know what I'm saying? How easily the public just went wild just because we were taking Trump out of office. You know, and that's never been that never happened in many years. You couldn't even get as close to the gate without somebody telling you what the hell you're doing here. You know
but I mean, you know, when you look at that one, right, and if you look at the year previous, man, it's like there has been a thing within this country where we let people get away with random shit that is not tolerated. So it's kind of like, you know, like when you isolate, you know, January 6th, you can look at it. But if you look a couple months back, man, it's like there is no fucking law sometimes. I mean, I think there was there was a headline. I didn't read it, so I don't know if this is true or not. But you can. The sad part is you can almost believe it now. They're saying in some areas they're going to pay criminals not to shoot nobody. Right? Yeah. Could be a satire. Could be incorrect. But the sad part is like right now you could be like I could kind of see that happening because shit is that crazy nowadays where you know you don't fucking know anymore because people are just fucking lawlessness going on. People are doing this one, and you know like Texas has a crazy thing going on with the abortion right now where people are feeling a certain way. And so now what was on the news, military news, no longer now it's an abortion. Right. We're really big on Afghanistan. Now we switch over to abortion. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like that one where it's just like, you know, people have a tend to forget what happens, right? You know, we look back in history and it's like, but man, months ago, fucking, I think there's even still like some places going on where they're still having like protests and shit like that. And, you know, it's really hard to believe that, people could storm the Capitol. You know, I don't think everybody's intention was to actually be, you know, I think it was just rambunctious in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't think it was going to be violent.
But somebody gets hurt and, you know what I mean? It's like that whole thing, like, you know, if you have a party and someone starts doing something crazy, the mob takes over. So just as like, I'm pretty sure there was something going on and someone went to go protest about something happening and then one person wants to start breaking windows, everybody starts breaking windows.
Everybody starts breaking windows, You know, it's like a trickle effect, man. They see it, they're like, yo, just follow suit because apparently that's what this person's doing. Yeah. So
that's how I feel about people with long hair. I'm just like, you fucking hippie, man. You're like, cut that shit off. Like, cut that shit off for them, man.
That means I gotta go get a haircut now.
I'm telling you, man. Like, especially the veterans, I look at them like, bro, what is going on? Do you need a hug right now? Because it's just like I just want to tackle you down and give you a haircut. Like, how dare you?
Just for that, I'm gonna let my hair grow. I'm gonna put it in a bun next time we talk. I'm gonna have a man butt.
But you're Puerto Rican. You like y'all kind of like that. Like you kind of get away with that.
Bad Bunny, baby. No, but it's crazy because I was actually talking to this this girl that that goes to the gym I go to. She works medical, and she was telling me, she was like, because you know we'll chit chat here and there, and I asked, I said, you know, how bad is the COVID? And she was like, it's terrible. One, she was like, we're so understaffed. She's like, nurses get so overwhelmed that they just can't deal with it anymore, so they just quit. Like they just like, I'm not doing this no more. Doctors, very limited. Doctors are understaffed as well. So their biggest issue right now is they don't have rooms. You know, not enough beds to take these patients to the point where they're almost doing. And when she was telling me this, I was like, man, that sounds illegal as fuck. She's telling me, so she works ICU, intensive care unit. They have like different ICUs. So the protocol is it's one nurse for 2 patients. But because it's so bad, they're doing one nurse to 4 patients. And that's around the clock. So I was telling her, I was like, you know, that's scary because it causes room for mistakes. Right. You know, you're getting so overwhelmed because each person's symptoms or whatever they're in there for is so severe. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're just a nurse that just finished the school process or whatever, the certification, and then you're thrown into the lion's den by yourself. You know what I'm saying? And then one doctor for what? 50 patients? You know what I'm saying? Like by the time the doctor gets you to help you, God forbid something already bad happened. You know? But she was like, we don't get paid what we deserve. She was like, we're so understaffed, so undermanned. But the crazy thing is that the media won't show that. The media, all it promotes is get your vaccine, right? Get your vaccine. The COVID cases are rising. We're getting another spike and everything else. But where's the news story of actually what's happening inside these hospitals? Where's the news stories of why we're losing nurses, why we're losing doctors? How come we're not gaining more professionals in this field to come and help us? Now the staff nurses who actually are assigned to the hospital are getting pissed at the traveling nurses because they're making more money than the staff.
They're contracting it out.
That sucks. But, you know, like, one of my friend who's also a nurse, she said, I chose to do traveling. If you don't like as a staff and you know you're not making money, then go change and become a traveling nurse to know where you're going to make money. Yeah. So now they're trying to recall these traveling nurses coming to this hospital to help these staff nurses out, doing the same job, doing the same diagnosis, the same procedures and everything. But this person is going to get paid $5,000 more than you because she's a traveling nurse. He or she's a traveling nurse. Yep. And they're pissed. Oh, yeah. Like, she was like, my friend was telling me, I needed to take these days off because it's becoming too much. Mm-hmm. And the amount of people that unfortunately that are passing are unvaccinated patients. Yeah. That COVID hits them. Yeah. And they take the turn for the worst.
Well, two things, man, for that one is what's the most frustrating for me is this whole entire thing. Like, no one's talking about like, hey, are you working out? Are you getting, 7 to 8 hours of sleep? Are you healthy? That's my number one thing is like, people they're not even looking at it from a health perspective of like, let's actually make you healthy. Fuck the medicine and all this other crazy shit. Like, let's talk about health because this is affecting people that are unhealthy, right? Vaccinated, unvaccinated, same thing. Like, it depends on the day you look at it. It could be the vaccinated or more, or whatever population there's like, that's the crazy part is you look at studies, man, it's just whatever they can really highlight, they can, and you can really, cherry pick anything. Right. But at the same time, no one's come on TV and sit there and say, hey guys, let's not eat McDonald's. Let's eat not processed food. Let's get 8 hours of sleep. Hey, how about some vitamin D? Let's get some vitamin C, magnesium. Let's get some elderberry. Let's get some probiotics in us. Like, there's some stuff that are standard. Like, even when you get sick with COVID, they're giving you magnesium. They're giving you vitamin D. They're giving you vitamin C. Like, it's like, why hasn't this been talked about in general? So we don't even have to go to the doctor for this. We can try to like really help ourselves. Right. And, that's kind of my frustration with it is, and especially with those traveling nurses. Every time I hear a nurse say that shit, it just reminds me of that meme of James Franco when he's like first time. Because I remember being in Iraq and then I'm sitting there and we're getting paid like $30,000. Plus some knuckleheads, 23, same like he's a little bit older than me, but he's like, I just got out of the military, came back as a contractor, 6 figures, and I'm chilling. And I'm sitting there saying like, but it's the same thing though. Hey man, if you want to stay in, this is what you're gonna get paid. But if you want to get out, this is the world when it comes. So, in a sense, I know people get frustrated, but it's like this ain't the first time, man. This is just how things work. A lot of times, is where people exploit it, and they will go there. Now, the only issue though is that yes, you're making money for the time being, just as we saw with Iraq and Afghanistan. You can be a contractor and make good fucking money. Right. But 10 years, 15 years, the job started drying up. It wasn't as easy to make that money no more. Like, then you have to find, you know what I mean? So it's like, yes, for short term, you're going to make a lot of money really fast for doing what you're doing. You're going to get upset because the person next to you is making more money. However, 15, 20 years, or even 5 years, when this shit is probably not as big as it is, or when they start finding themselves in a new tax bracket and they got to pay more taxes, and then they start going to California, like, you know what I mean? There's going to be more things that come down. Right. These states are not going to allow traveling nurses to make this much money and not pay them their profit. You know what I mean? Correct. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, they're making money, right? And we saw the same thing with Afghanistan, same thing I read with contractors. They're making tons of money. They found a way to get them, and they end up getting some of their money back. Like, it's just how shit works. Like, and it's unfortunate because a person doesn't get to see that, right? Like, and the traveling nurse is not going to go and say like, yeah, man, I got fucked over 2 years ago because I made all this money, taxes, et cetera, et cetera. I stayed, 5 days in California. They wanted 50% at that time. You mean like, it's just, that's not going to come out and be part of the news. Right. So it's really unfortunate. But like I said, for me, the biggest thing with even medical professionals, when they're talking about it, I've never heard one of them sit there and say, hey, are you taking enough vitamin C? Are you taking magnesium before you go to bed? And they're nurses. Yeah. And so it's like, you know what I mean? Like, at what point have the medical institute become medical? Because they're not, like I said, they're not treating you to be healthy. They're not sitting there and saying like, hey, everyone, before you even come to the doctor, are you doing this, this, and that? Yeah.
Yeah. Because even with me getting the vaccination, I still try to maintain an active lifestyle. I'm still trying to be in the gym. I'm still trying to work out because you're right. I can't go with the mindset to say, oh, I got the vaccine, so I'm good. Like, it's not going to happen to me. You can't be that way. But it has to be an individual thing. Like, you have to make the commitment and discipline to do it, to stay healthy, try to eat right. Even if it's just you walking, just go for walks. Just do the walks, do, 2 miles here and there, whatever. Jog if you're a run, if you like to do that. But you have to do something physical. Like, you have to be active. For example, my mom right now, God bless her, she's 71 years old. She used to be active in New York, walking to the supermarket, walking to the store, walking here and there. And there. She hurt her leg. Her leg is swollen. It's pretty bad. But ever since she moved, the walking stopped. So what happens? You sit on your ass all day. You're not active. All you're doing is eating. Your body is going to get heavy. And then now that she tries to walk, is a limp. You know what I'm saying? Because your blood circulation ain't moving. You're not doing what you used to do before. So your body's like shutting down because it's not recognizing, hey, when we were in New York, we used to walk from 10th Avenue all the way to 5th Avenue. Now all of a sudden I walk just to go use the bathroom and come back to the couch. That's not going to be good. You know what I'm saying? But my whole thing also with the nurses and the doctors is I think the media should at least show the way they're hurting. You know what I'm saying? Like show how they're understaffed. Show how there's one doctor for 50 patients. Show how there's a nurse for 5 patients. Show the people how these hospitals are making patients stay sitting in the chair if you're not as severe as the other one who has a bed. And if you have a bed, and let's say you came in with COVID and you only had like minor symptoms, and they have a bed for you, they put you in there, guess what? The next day you're out because they got to keep the revolving door moving. Yeah. There are times that waiting room becomes the ward because they just don't have enough physical rooms to put these people in. And now you're categorized. Okay, what are you here for? Oh, I sprained my wrist. Okay, go to the waiting room. Oh, what are you here for? Oh, I got COVID. Okay, go now to the COVID room. Like they're segregating who's who and everything else. But again, one nurse that says, oh, you only got a sprained wrist? Well, I need to go COVID. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But the media won't reflect that. Again, the media promotes, get your vaccine. Yeah. We only got spikes, blah, 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 cases, people are dying and everything else. But then you're not really showing do we need help? Do we need to get funding? Like where's the talks of that? Where's the representation to take care of these medical people? I don't see it. I mean, I don't hardly want to use, but I haven't seen anything like that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But also like that's the crazy part about the news too as well, because you could go to another area that they're completely not, right? So it's like you could cherry pick whatever you want. You could show that one hospital. But what happens if you go to the next town over and they're chilling? Like I'm not saying that's happening. I'm saying I don't know. I would assume that everywhere is not even, right? That's how the world works. Like I'm pretty sure where you're at is a very high dense populated area. Yeah. So there's going to be more of that just in general, right? Versus everything. But also too, I think it's also the severity they have this. Oh, you got this virus. Mm-hmm. Let's go here. And like, again, you know, my whole thing, you know, my wife and I are talking about it, it's like, hey, like whatever, but there's already another variant out there. You already have the vaccine, but you got to get another fucking shot because there's already another one hitting LA. Like you're not stopping this stuff coming in. Like that's what I'm saying. Like my whole point on a lot of things, the vaccine is just like a flu shot. It's the same shit in the sense of like, you're still like exposed to something that's going to mutate. And we're talking about it because I was like, you know, because like I said, my friend got exposed and I was around him. So we're like just being cautious. Yeah. But I was like, honestly, I don't know what to do because depending on what you read, everything's different, right? Yep. Some people before it was 2 weeks, they're saying the incubation is different now. I mean, there's so many different things. I have honestly, and that's the craziest part. It's like, you have no clue anymore because like, who do I even refer to? Because you start going to the CDC website, it'll say something completely different than some of the leaders saying on TV. Yep. Their own fucking leaders. Yep. And it's just like, I honestly have no fucking clue what to do. Yeah. And
because you start questioning what's credible source, what's not. Yeah. And then I feel like some people go down this rabbit hole of conspiracy theories. You know, now they're posting, oh, look, the CDC said this was legit, but how come this is not? Like it just becomes to where I'm just like, I can't. Let me just keep scrolling because I don't want to understand what this person is trying to post here or whatnot. And they really they dwell down that rabbit hole and it's like there's no coming back from it.
The best thing to do is just start looking up anime and you'll be fine. Like, because like I was like that was on all my feeds, right? Yeah. And you start like seeing all these conspiracies and you're like, bro, this shit I get depressed and I'm like, dude, well, fuck this today, man. Today sucks. Yeah. Because you're just like, why am I even trying anything? Because it's like, apparently we're going to have a food shortage next, like, but also this is my problem with social media in a sense. And it's like, you and I know each other, right? And if you and I were talking and some dude came up to us, was like scratching and was acting all weird and was telling us conspiracy theories, we'd be like, this dude's fucking crazy.
Yeah, he's done.
But on social media, that guy can still be that guy, but he can be on a video and edit himself to look like he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, I don't know if you're legit fucking crazy. The topic you're saying is not crazy in a sense, it's just different. I don't know everything. Fuck, I don't know. Like, I honestly don't know everything. You know, depending on the time of thought, you could sit there and say, you know, whatever used to be the way people thought because it was consensus. So now it's changed and, you know, whatever. So I don't really, honestly, I don't ever play that whole part. I love to do that whole stay woke shit on people and to be like, hey, flat earth, stay woke. But if you do that shit, your time feed gets like just whole conspiracies. So I don't do that no more. I just watch anime. But because it's like, this shit's crazy, man. Like, you go down rabbit holes, man, and the next thing you know, the world's ending and fucking you should be like, the toilet paper is going here and
the dinosaurs have returned.
Dinosaurs are apparently fake, you know what I mean? And like the guy
apocalypse.
Well, there's a guy who was saying like the dinosaurs are fake, and he puts out like a 20-30 minute video, and it's like really like he put a lot of effort into it. But again, like that's what I'm saying, like it's edited, it's made to look a certain way. That dude could be a complete fucking idiot. Yeah. That you would talk to him and be like, dude, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But on a video, you can be actually like very, charismatic because you can hold it together.
Convincing, man. You could be convincing. Right. People start believing it and shit. Next thing you know, they're part of a cult.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. It really is. And like I said, I just scroll through it. Social media has become one of those that now I used to like to look through it because of the positivity of seeing people's accomplishments and stuff like that, see how my family's doing and everything. But now it's like, all right, keep scrolling because this is about, CDC, FDA didn't approve. And then, political, Biden this, Biden that. Okay, next thing you know, still BLM this, BLM that. Keep going. And then it's like, the police, defund the police, police lives matter, keep scrolling. Everything's just like, man, what the fuck? What happened to the beginning when it was like, oh, look at my baby, she took her first step. Or look at my son, he's playing baseball. You know, those things I used to be like, okay, let me like. But now it's like, whew, man, I can't look at all this stuff here.
Yeah, man, that social media is really crazy. Like, I'm on it all the time for work and stuff like that. But there's a lot of times where it's like, I really don't like to put anything personal in there. I think social media is like, I think we're trying to figure out how to communicate on there. It's like when we first got Twitter, it's like, Joey's feeling happy right now. And it's like, okay, who gives a flying fuck about Joey right now? But now, like, Joey's like going on his like conspiracy theories or his political.
You were supposed to like that Joey's feeling happy.
I've never had a Twitter, man. When I was like, when Twitter came out, they were like, everyone's getting it. I'm like, why? So I can tell you what I have for lunch? I don't care.
Right.
I don't want you to know what I have. I just didn't care about it.
This is you telling me I need to step up my social media game.
Well, we're trying to promote a fucking.
I need Twitter. I need this. Leave me with MySpace, Facebook, and Yahoo. I'm
trying to get you to promote our podcast, and you're over here like. I post like once a year, and I've already posted already. Like,
and if I do, it's like a family trip or a vacation I went on. That's about
your laptop's 10 years old. I'm like, Jesus, man, we're trying to get to the basics.
I'm gonna be like, Izzy feels sad today.
You should do that as a joke.
Izzy's happy. And put a bunch of smiling emojis on there. Don't worry, when I get my new laptop, I'm gonna post a picture, a video, a TikTok.
You're gonna be that guy who like takes his laptop with him everywhere he goes, taking photos on his laptop.
I'm eating dinner with my laptop.
You should be doing that. That'd be hilarious, especially with your different hats.
Thanks for noticing. That's my little trend right now here. I didn't want to do my hair.
That's why you should cut it. Like, you finally cut your beard. I'm telling you, if you have a man bun and you have your beard the way it looked before, you either look homeless or you will look like you're like a cult leader, like you're starting a cult.
There is a video I need to show you. I'm gonna see if I could try to download it and send it to you. But
with your computer, you won't.
I straightened out my hair. Like, dude, let me see if I could. I don't know if I could find it. Hold on.
Don't do it. Watch, you're gonna just crash your computer.
I know.
Smokes and come out like I'm doing two things at one time.
Hold on, let me see if I can do it. And I'll try to show it on the camera and to see.
Jesus,
dude, it is hilarious. Want to give a shout out to my boy Gatos. His birthday today. So, growing up in New York, man, everybody always had nicknames. Like, I don't know why is that. I don't know if it's an East Coast thing or what.
Well, even the military, like there were some people that just had nicknames.
Did you have a nickname?
No one ever gave me. I never had a nickname. I don't know. Like I've always had one of those names where it was never a nickname.
Right.
But
it's just Mikey, right?
It's just Mike. That's really it, or Mendez, and so that's what I go by.
Gotcha.
So. But like if you were Smith, you had like Smitty. There were some people who just had nicknames. And you're like, that's a cool ass nickname.
Okay, let me
man.
see if I could show this here.
Jesus.
Hold on. Okay, let me see. Can you see that? You can see it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Look at this. You see it?
You look like a 70s porn star.
Yo, isn't that crazy? I'm gonna let my hair grow back like that. I'm gonna make it happen.
You look like you're a vampire. You look like you're an 80s vampire. Like just
My
hair
Twilight,
straight.
like Twilight. I'm all glowing and everything.
Somebody's gonna be like, hey, like you just start getting a lot of like oh, that's why he never had a girlfriend. Like, I get it now. When your hair's like that's bad. You look like you're on an 80s sitcom right now. Like,
On the 70s show.
Yeah. Especially like I just imagine you having like a vest, like some kind of like corduroy vest and some corduroy pants.
Yeah.
And you're just like dancing.
Call me McLovin over here.
You should do that. And you know what? You should do that. You should grow your hair out and as a prank the whole day, act like you're from the past, like you're from the 70s.
The 70s.
And just like film yourself and just like surprise, like what's going on? What is that little thing you got going on? And just fuck with people.
What kind of car is this?
Start dancing in the middle of the road and shit. It's like, what the fuck?
Jordans? Are these Jordans? What is Jordans?
Start doing a disco dance. Jesus. I wonder how many people you can convince too, because people are so fucking. Sometimes I don't know if have you been seeing that milk crate challenge?
Yes, terrible.
I don't understand.
I don't understand it either.
It's so sad that people will see them like they know they're gonna get hurt. You know, the first time the first person did it, he didn't know, and after that, everybody was like, they're gonna get hurt. I'm gonna get famous somehow.
Yeah,
but no one ever puts their name on there, so you don't really know who they are. You're just laughing at them.
Yeah, dude, it's ridiculous. And I mean, these people's falls. They're hard, man. Like their back is hitting the edge of the crates. Like they're even hitting the concrete. I mean, I saw one. I gave him props for it. He was rolling a joint while he was doing it. He finished it. He made it all the way to the top. He finished rolling, and then when he made it back down, they lit it up for him. I was like, man, that's pretty impressive, man. But some of the other people, I'm just like, what is going on, man?
There was this one big dude. He's like stepping on it. He's on the second crate. He steps on it, and it's just starting to like cave in. The whole video is him trying to go to the next one. So like, this is a step. He's like on the second one, and he steps on the third one, and he's like trying to like get his balance. And the whole time, the second crate's just like caving in.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, if that's not telling you gotta lose weight, man.
That? Like, who said, yo, let's put these crates? And now they were showing memes. I don't know if they were true or not of Walmart selling crates. I was like, damn, Walmart to get $1, bro. Anything to do, they do to get $1, man.
Well, the crazy part is like with the internet, man, you honestly never know if shit's real. Like, you know, there was a thing that's saying like Joe Rogan got kicked off of Spotify, right? And there was another article saying, hey, that was actually a fake website. That was a fake article.
Wow.
So it's like, great. Like, it's just, you have no fucking, like I'm saying, like, when it comes to anything, you have no clue what's being real.
Yeah.
People can put like a video of you saying something, but it's like, that was 5 months ago. That doesn't change. Like today's different, but they don't reference that. So you think it's like, this guy's saying the dumbest shit there, but it's like, things have changed.
Yeah.
Nobody says, hey, I'm sorry. This is what I believed at this time. Like there's nothing going on. So when a politician says something, whatever video, you honestly have no idea when it is because you know, like, have you seen those ones where like, that hurricane, right? So like, you know, CNN's out there and then people are just walking by normally. Like, this is not like, you know what I mean? It's just people are just doing crazy shit where you honestly have no idea. Reality is like, there is no such thing as reality in a sense, beyond what you can physically see now.
Because I mean, social media has become a new platform of entertainment, man. I mean, I don't know how many times I would see, you know, my nephew or his friends and everything. I'll be watching a movie and they're looking at the phone. They're just watching what YouTube sensation is up now. Who's the hot person now that's posting?
Yeah.
And I sat down one day and I watched those videos that he likes to watch, and I'm like, this is dumb.
Fucking
like it's
stupid.
not even comical. It's not even like funny or worthy to be like, oh man, this person should be getting paid this money because he's really funny. No, it's dumb shit. It's stupid shit.
Yeah,
you know?
They're entertained too.
The pranksters. Have you ever seen the videos of the pranksters? Like the guy hitting people with pies in the face?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, dude, how this person hasn't been beaten up yet? Like, bad.
Well,
Like, how is
also
this person
too,
still running the streets, man?
well, because it's a video, like they're supposed to have some kind of like a consent form. So
Right.
I wonder, honestly, is he doing a consent form? People are like, yeah. Like, it's just people want to be a part of shit, I think, too.
It could be scripted and stuff like that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like that's also a thing too, is a lot of times all these videos, it's kind of like porn now. It's like, there's no way the pizza guy is getting that lucky, right? Like,
Right.
And now it's real life where it's like, there's no way, there cannot be a way this person's getting away with these things. And they're scripted though, you know, so some of the things you see nowadays, they're just doing it just to get likes and stuff like that. And it's a, you know, I was thinking about the other day, like, imagine if you're 70, 80 years old. Like, there must be this world you just must not recognize it at all. Mm-hmm. Like, how do you recognize any of this shit? Like, if you're from you know, 70, 80 years old, and people, you have grandkids or great grandkids that are like, I just want to YouTube on my phone. You're like, what the fuck? Like, you don't care about this big ass TV I have for you? I'm like, no, I just.
Oh, you want to be a YouTuber?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They'd be looking like, what the hell is that? You better get a job.
Have you heard of like the universal income? Like the idea behind that, right? Like everybody gets a certain amount of, so the idea behind, I could be butchering it, but the idea behind is like everybody gets enough money for them to survive, right? And what that's supposed to allow society to do is, you know, instead of working a dumb shit job, you can actually create things. You can create art. You can actually be a vital citizen. But right now, like people are getting that kind of in a sort of sense. Where I live at right now, we went to go eat somewhere, and they're like, no dining in because we're short staffed. So drive-through only. There's restaurants everywhere that are only doing drive-through because they don't have enough people to support the inside. There's not enough workers. Right. We went to a place this weekend for a birthday. Same shit. Like, same fucking thing as in not enough people. Like, it's just they're understaffed. We were doing whatever the fuck you wanted to do over there because they're understaffed. Right. And it's like, in Walmart, same thing. Anywhere you go, there's just not enough people working. They can't find them. It's like, I honestly don't know what's going to happen if we, you know, I mean, like, what do you do? Our whole society is created on that people don't have a job or long-term thing. So they're going to work at Walmart. They're going to work at Sprouts. They're going to work at these dumb fucking jobs for the rest of their life. Yeah. Just because of whatever, right? Like, what do you do? And then kids are still graduating every year of college. They're still getting fucking arts degree and some dumb shit like that. You know what I mean? It's like, what's going to happen in the next couple of years if we keep going this route where we give people money, but there's no great works of art that's been fucking celebrated in the last like months, right? And nobody's really came up with this great idea. So I think it's really weird to sit there and see like I don't know how the fuck we're going to even maintain these things. Cause fuck, like, you know, but also like who wants to work at fucking, you know, McDonald's or the must suck dick. Right. But it's really weird how our society is changing because of this pandemic. I honestly don't know, like, even the military, right? Like, you know, like they're having a hard time getting military people. And then what's on the news? Like, if you're like, cause like, you know, the people that passed away were like in their 20s. Who the fuck wants to sign up for that shit? Cause when I went in 04, like I went in there for nothing, for like, just cause a girl was pregnant type shit. Yeah. But when I went in, they were like, hey, you're going to fucking, half you're going to die. And you know, like you're going to deploy and this is your job. This is your mission and shit. But after 20 years to sustain, you know, that way, like, I don't know how the military bounces back again from this shit. Like, how do you not have people who want to sign up anymore? Because, like, again, like you're saying, they want to be on YouTube. Like, there's other ways to do things now. Yep. But taking orders from a military person and doing all this stuff, like, I don't know who the next generation says, yes, I want to actually join, you know?
Yeah, but the thing is, like, the parents that are those 40, 50 that were born and raised back in the time, they don't look at that as work. If your kid comes up to you and says, hey, Dad, I want to be a YouTuber, you'd be like, get the fuck out of here. You're going to get yourself a fucking real job.
No, actually, like, honestly, on some real shit, though, like, if my daughter's like, hey, like, because my daughter sees what we're putting online. She sees me doing all my camera gear. So she's really interested in it. But those YouTubers fucking work, though, because it takes a lot to edit it. It takes a lot to come up with these ideas. And plus, what, you know, like, you see a YouTube person, right? But there's probably 1,000 more, just like this fucker who didn't make it, right? It's like the NBA type of shit like that. You're a very select few are making it. And I think that's what's not being talked about. It's like, you know, the NFL and the NBA, all these kids have these high hopes of doing this shit, but it's like, that's 1 in a million type of person to do that thing. And then if you're starting out, you got to learn all these tasks before. And then, like I said, are you going to make it? If you don't, like, there's so many other people that are still working at Walmart trying to be YouTube stars. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, they're not going to be it. It's just not, there's not enough, like, they just don't have it, talent, you know, because talent's still needed. Yeah. Regardless of whatever you think, man, there has to be enough talent to get in front of a camera. Because, you know, even us with this podcast, we can talk naturally. But if you try to do a podcast by yourself and you just look into the computer and you're trying to talk and be entertaining,
yeah, it's difficult.
Fucking difficult, right? Like, you know, we take these things for granted. Like comedians, like that's a lot of skill, and it's like people make it look easy, and we're like, oh, it must be that easy too. But
yeah, no. But like, what I mean is like the parents with the old school mentality, they're not gonna understand that. You know what I'm saying? Like they're gonna be like, you get YouTube. What YouTube? You ain't fucking doing YouTube. You're gonna get yourself a real fucking job. Because they haven't really caught up with the times. You know what I'm saying? They're not really hip onto what YouTubing is, how you can make money video gaming, how you can make money just doing this, pranks or whatever. Their mentality is still set like you have to get a job. 7:30, 4:30, you know, make that salary annually, whatever the case may be. That's still their mindset. So when your kid comes up, it's like, hey, I want to do YouTubing. That old school mentality, parents like, get the fuck out of here, YouTubing. You either join the military, go to school, or you know, get a job somewhere. Even like now, my nephew's supposed to go to the Navy in November. First thing Pop told him was, you need a fucking job. You're not, because he's not going back to school. So you think once he graduated high school, you think you're just gonna stay home and chill? Hell no. Imagine my nephew was like, Dad, I want to do YouTube. He's definitely like, get the fuck out of here. He was like, yo, go get a fucking job until you have to leave. And he got a job now, but you have to keep them active. If not, these kids will fucking stay on the couch playing PlayStation all the way to fucking 5 a.m. with no worries in the world. So
yeah, I mean, but those are the times that really is like, those are the best things in the world. Fuck.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, if you could do the YouTubing and I could see that you're progressing in it, like your views, you're getting hits, you're getting people to subscribe and everything else, and you're making some progression there, I could get it. Even with video gaming. Yeah. I think my brother's oldest son, great, he plays video games, he's on point. Like, he's this and that. Like, everything. He has the headset, you see him talking to people online, playing, killing. And I used to be like, yo, why don't you put him, like, try to see maybe you could get into these video gaming tournaments and stuff like that. These kids are making thousands and thousands of dollars just sitting there playing tournament games, you know, like team games or whatever they are. And they're making money just sitting there. And I told my brother, like, yo, if he's that good and he could do it, why not? But again, the mentality is not fuck that. Yeah. You know, he needs to be doing this, go to school, blah, blah, blah.
You know, like, you know, being in real estate, man, like you start learning really fast. Like, man, sometimes you're just not good at it, but you got to stick it through. Like, you know, it's that whole idea with that, you know, the self-worth, right? Like there's a lot of times where, you know, and I think that's a problem with maybe an older generation. And now it's gone the complete other way. Right. But in a sense of like, there's a lot of people where they don't believe in you, but it honestly doesn't really fucking matter what they believe or not believe, because a lot of that stuff too, as well, is a lot of it's limiting beliefs, right? So if I believe something can't be done and my kid wants to do it, if I don't think it's possible, they definitely for sure can't do it because it's not possible in my idea. Yeah. So you're never going to really allow someone to get those things. You're never going to really appreciate or, you know, encourage it because you don't even think it's possible. So why would it even be? And I think that's what a lot of it is it's actual a limiting belief. It's not that they don't know, or it's not like they're not hip with it. It's a limiting belief of like, that's not possible because the information that I have. And as a parent, the biggest issue that I see with parents is they stop learning, right? Like they got a job, they're doing that, and that's all they care about. They're about their mortgage and all that shit like that, but they're not looking at the latest information. They're not starting a craft as a beginner, so you can just soak up so much more information. And so what happens is you're just passing off that limiting belief to your children, really, of like, hey, well, why can't you do it? And my sense of like, let's say you are a YouTuber, you want to be one, and you have to work at McDonald's. The part of me is like, that's part of the grind, man. That's part of the thing is like, no one appreciates you and no one looks at what you're doing. Those are the best times of the world, because there's gonna be a time where that's what you're gonna miss the most, is that nobody knows exactly what you're doing. They leave you alone and you're hustling on your own and you see your vision. And so you're going after it. Yeah. But you know, it's, I think that's a lot of it is too, as well as the parents just don't, how could it be done? They don't have an idea of it.
They definitely need to be a little bit more open-minded with that kind of stuff. And like you said, is they won't do the research on it. If they haven't heard of it and nobody's talked to them about it, they're automatically like, nah, that's not going to happen. Yeah. You know, instead of actually looking into it and say, okay, how does YouTubing work? How can somebody be that? Can my son or daughter even possibly make it to what I'm reading here and whatnot? But they won't. again, that old school mentality, man. It's like, you two can get the fuck out of here.
Well, I mean, the most people that have the hardest problems are in their mid 30s to mid 40s, right? Like those are people that have that belief still stuck in them. Like, I can't do this or their self-worth is so bad about themselves that they, and like a lot of times people get upset at me because I have so much confidence in myself. But a lot of it is I honestly, like the way I look at things is I look myself in the mirror, and if I can look myself in the mirror and be proud of what I'm doing, or I can sit there and say, okay, yes, I'm doing that. I honestly do not care at all what anyone thinks. My wife, I love her to death. And she's the one that if she says like, hey man, like, I don't like the way you're doing this, like it really fucks me up. But at the end of the day, if my wife was like, I don't like this, I don't think you're doing it the right way. If I look myself in the mirror and said like, you are doing it the right way based off of the information you have at the time, et cetera, 100%, I go all in. Cause it's like, at the end of the day, like, people, like I said, going into real estate, people are like, why are you going to real estate at this age? Like you got an IT career. Why, all this shit. And it's like who, I'm still young in my opinion, right? Like I'm still young. I can go do whatever I want to do in life. And that's really has been helping me out my whole life is this belief that like, if I'm willing to work hard enough, I can do anything I want to do. And a lot of times what I'm finding out is I'm the mirror for a person in a sense of I'm the reflection for them, that they get to look at themselves in the mirror and they're not happy with what they're doing. And so really, they're not angry at me. They're angry at themselves, but it's directed at me because I'm showing a reflection of like, hey, I'm not stopping. I'm going to go for what I want to go. But people have that limiting belief. And so for them, it's that ability to like, they don't have belief in themselves. So if it's like, if it's not possible for them, then it shouldn't be possible for me. So it's like anger, but at themselves. And, I think that's harsh, right? Like, when you got family members, you got friends, and you would love for them to appreciate you and love you. But the end of it is that's not their fucking job. You know what I mean? That's not the point. You know what I mean? Like you're doing what you're doing. I'm going to be very supportive of you, but it's not because I'm your friend. It's because I'm supportive of you because I know I can do things I want to do. And I know you can do what you want to do. So that's why I'm supportive. It has nothing to do with a friendship in a sense, because we're very selfish people. But that's, that's, I believe in what, like, we were talking about that one time where about the things you want to do and like kind of how you want to hang out. Like, I don't understand it, but I like, cool, man, do your thing, because that's, you have to look yourself in the mirror and sit there and say, am I doing this right? I'm doing it by my own terms. And as you've seen, like, people don't like it. People hate when you don't live by what they believe is a standard within that.
That's true. Like, I mean, but I feel like I'm on the same page with you. I think we need to be more supportive in whatever people's choices are, especially if they're the right ones. I'm not going to support you want to be a drug dealer, but we just need more support, especially with this young generation, man. Because as the times go on, we're seeing how ugly the world is becoming, and everything else. That we need more positive people. We need some influencers. We need some entrepreneurs. We need some people to hopefully make a difference for the better. And as we get older and stuff like that, it's like we only could do so much. Like when I was in school, my professor, when he would talk about climate change, he was a science professor. He would talk about climate change, how everything is being impacted, sea levels and everything else. But the one thing he will always say, I'm telling you guys because it's you guys that are going to need to make the difference. Right. I'm done. He's like, I'm 40 something, going to be 50. There's me trying to continue to try to make a run for it, to try to make a change. It sort of surpassed me already. You know what I'm saying? But he's like, it's you guys, the 18-year-old, the 19-year-old, the up and coming that are going to get into these fields that are hopefully going to make a difference. It's you guys that need to make the difference. You got to know the information. You got to do the research, see what's happening, how you're being impacted, and then from there go on and do it. He was like, but us old heads, we could only do so much from here on out, but it's up to you guys to do it. And I feel like that's why us old heads still need to support the ones behind us. You know what I'm saying? Well, leave that footprint for them to follow and hopefully be successful and everything. I'll be honest with you, every time I go on vacation, that's one of my highlights is when I go see my boys or whatever, whoever I'm hanging out with, I'm so grateful that their lives are so good right now. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody's down and out. Nobody's fucking a crackhead, addict. You know what I'm saying? Like their life is shit. Like everybody that I went to visit, everybody had 2 houses, working, the pool, the kids are good. Like when Nori showed up, family's good and everything else. Air Force life is good. Like for me, that's always a highlight for me, man, because I like to see that stuff. There's so much negativity going on in the world today that it's always good to see there's still that positive light still shining. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think there's plenty of positivity in this world, man. I think it is. It's just, it's one of those ones where it's become the thing where you have to go find it yourself. And I think that's the hardest part. Like, if you're a kid who doesn't have anything positive, your friends, your family, like your whole, like Osho, he would sit there and say, like, your future is a projection of your past. So if your past is all shitty and bad and stuff like that, when you look in the future, it only projects what you know of, because we don't really know the future. So it's going to project only what you have experience of. And if all you have experience of is negative things, the future does not look good, right? And I think that's the biggest issue with a lot of people is they're looking towards the future, and the projection is only what they know of. And that's the scary part, right? But the good thing about that is sitting there saying, well, if that's based off of that idea, anything I do right now is technically in the past as soon as I do it. That could be my new future if I can like think that way. But we're dealing with a world of like really negative, dark thoughts, and we're really concerned with other people so much that we're not really worried about us becoming like the future. We're worried about right now how we look. That's, I think, is also a very dangerous thing. Yeah. Because like I've noticed a lot of people don't want to go do things because they don't want to look like they messed up. They want to like get laughed at. And it's like one of the best things you can do, man, is like, because right now it's so easy to succeed, in my opinion, because nobody really wants to try. It's like, just go out and fucking try. Like, they're going to laugh at you. Honestly, it doesn't really matter. Right. Because honestly, like, good. Like, like for some things, like when you get really, when people start, getting on you and being very critical, I look at that as a good thing, man. We're doing great things because now people are being upset. People are looking at us. People are being critical. Like things I do, people are watching what I say. They're very critical. I had a guy say some things about me, and it's like, great, man. We're doing something really good now, because the moment you're doing something worthwhile, people are going to have to come out of the woodworks and actually start saying some shit about it. Right. The moment you're not doing anything that's rocking a boat, you're not doing anything new, you're not doing anything exciting, everyone's happy for you. All right. But the moment you decide to be your own person and go your own wave and be your own boat, and like the Leviticus poem, like, I'm the captain of your own ship, I think that's when people come out and sit there and say, like, no, you got to do it this way, my way, or whatever. And the best thing in the world, man, is to wake up every day and sit there and say, I'm going to do what I want to do. Right. Fuck it. Like, I honestly, and I think that's what the most hardest time is, especially for a person who gets out of the military. You have this now choice to be whatever you want to be, but you've never been happy. You don't know how to be happy doing whatever you want to do, because for a long time you did exactly what you needed to do to get an EPR done. Right. You did exactly what you had to do to get an awards. They have a mold. And I think the issue with that is we don't know how to make a hybrid of it, right? Like, how do I fit military standards into civilian life instead of making myself into a civilian and forget my military standards, and then I'm out of whack. I think if you can figure that shit out, like, you're going to fucking kill it, because you're persistent, you're dedicated. And as long as we give you find your own mission, like we were saying before, who can really stop you, right? So
that's true.
But amen. I think we've gone way over since your computer didn't crash. So your computer's actually very amazing.
Baby, my hamster came strong, baby. I gave it that fucking steroid shot right there. That way he was running the wheel.
Make sure it doesn't die.
Make sure it doesn't die. Huh?
Did you restart it?
No, I didn't restart it. I left the page. I said, work on your own. The internet gods will save you. Let it work on its own.
I could just see you getting up and just doing that and just telling your brother, like, don't print for the next hour, please. Yeah. That's what killed it.
Everybody get off the Wi-Fi. Look at that. I'm not even at 99% uploaded, baby. Man. Let's go. Ooh.
See, but still, you still got to get a new laptop, though.
I do.
I would just sit here. I was like, you know what I'm going to do this time? I'm just going to let it record the entire time. We're going to see how long it goes before you go in, out, and then you finally come on.
We had a successful day today. Little minor hiccups, but a successful day today.
So you sent me that picture of you on the beach. How many other people did you send that picture to piss them off?
So I sent it to you, and I think it was like 3 other people, because they were like, yo, what are you doing? And I was like, hey, here I am. And it's crazy because one of my good friends, he just got back from like Mexico. So I was going to invite him, but I was like, You just came back from a beach. Like, why am I gonna tell you to come to like Florida Beach when you were in Mexico? So I was like, I'm not gonna throw the invitation his way. But it was a good time, man. The weather's still nice. We picked a good day to go because it didn't rain, thank God, and it was just real nice, man. The water was beautiful. It was actually clean. So that's a big pet peeve of mine. I hate the seaweed. Like if I jump in the water and I come up with a fucking seaweed on me, I'm like, this is nasty. But yeah, it was a good time though. We had a lot of fun.
All right, we're gonna wrap this one up because I think your computer's about to go on the fritz. We're trying to have it a nice transaction, so we'll leave it at
Hamster,
that.
baby. Keep going. I got the Rocky music playing for him. You know, Eye of the Tiger, baby. Eye of the Tiger.
Eye of the tiger.
All right, bro.
All right, brother. I'll see you next week.
All right, later.
Later.